#Kaylin here, along with another makeup video. This time we are going to be doing a look from BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. And what's funny is this is attempt number 2 at recording this. I just sat down to edit the footage that I had already filmed, and it had no sound because I didn't check to make sure that, like, for some reason OBS didn't detect a microphone. It said it wasn't available. I've never unplugged my mic. So it's recording now. I can see the little bar thing moving, so we're good there. But yeah, so 2 hours of footage just gone. Unusable. But at any rate, I thought it would be fun to also read from my star chart while I'm doing my makeup. I went to a website and I can't see. I went to a website and they had, if you entered in your birth date and you knew your time of birth and everything, they gave you this really long 25-page readout that basically should explain who you are, I think. We shall see how much of these fit, so to speak. Just like last time, I already have the Laneige, I think it's Laneige, sleeping mask on. Link in the description. Everything that I'll be using here will be linked in the description. They are affiliate links, so even though you don't pay more, I could get a small, teeny tiny part of the purchase directed back towards me, which I will put into the channel if I make enough that they can actually reimburse me. Don't feel, obligated to use those. But they're there in case you want them, in case you want the same stuff that I have. So, how do I want to start? Let's get into the swatches, as I like to call them. I have a separate video for that, so I guess here it comes. This is attempt number 2 of swatches, because I did everything, did the outer ring, did the inner ring. I was about to do the highlighter, and then I realized that my screen on the phone had shut off. So I was like, what the fuck? What might have happened? Well, the brilliant person sitting here forgot to hit record on here. So smart. Anyway, let's do this again. Deja vu. That's Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, Virgo, Leo, Cancer, Gemini, Taurus, Aries, and Pisces. So there is the entirety of the outer ring. Party. Okay, now time for the inner ring. Aquarius, Capricorn, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. Leo, Cancer, Gemini, Taurus, Aries. It's very similar to Libra on top of it. I think this one is brown, like an actual dark brown, and then this one is black, I think. And here's Pisces. So this is all of the inner row laid out. And then this is the highlighter in the middle. You can see that. Let's apply a little bit more. It's really interesting because it's white in the pan, but in the light, it kind of looks like a little bit of rose gold in there. So it's really interesting. I like it. As you can see, the shimmers are quite shimmery. Shimmery. They're quite pretty, and the mattes also are pretty pigmented. So I think what I'm going to do, which is what I did last time, I'm going to attempt to kind of make it the same, but I'm gonna base it around Aquarius because that's my sun sign, is Aquarius. So we are going to do a little bit of that. I don't expect much fallout. There wasn't much fallout the first time I did this, so I am going to start with my face. But first, let's read a little bit about the sun sign being in Aquarius. One of the standout characteristics of those born under the sun sign of Aquarius is their unwillingness to follow the beaten track. With advancement and progress on their minds, there can be an irreverence to old and outdated ways of thinking and doing things. Many Aquarians aim to free themselves of personal and social conditioning. Although open to change in theory, Aquarians can be surprisingly stubborn. Their idealism runs strong, but they can be very fixed in their opinions. Yes, my principles are very, very fixed and unchanging mostly. I do obviously change my mind throughout life as I learn new things, but the core of, I guess, my principles runs strong and is fixed. Often a bit aloof and even standoffish, Aquarians nonetheless are usually well-liked. They are curious and observant and tolerant in a broad sense. Prejudice and bias is offensive to the typical Aquarius. Aquarians are generally very clever, witty, and intellectual. They value progress and frankness. It's difficult to throw Aquarians for a loop. They're generally on top of things. There's a bit of reformer in Aquarius. They'll try to get you to see through superficiality and encourage you to be open and forthright. Be true to yourself and don't follow the crowd are mottos we can easily associate with this sign. Aquarians need space and value personal freedom. Any attempt to box them in will likely fail. They'll happily return the favor, and they will treat people from all walks of life as equals. Equality and fairness are hallmarks of the sign. If you're quirky and different, all the better. And the next part it says, Aquarius with ascendant Libra. She is bright, inspired, and much of the time she lives in her mind. I mean, I don't travel to other people's minds, so I guess that's accurate. She has a brilliant and unusual and a bit zany viewpoint. Ideally, there are more grounding factors in the chart, or else there can be some problems with impracticality, boredom, and distraction. She is delightful company. I will have to let my friends attest to that, because I don't know. I find myself boring sometimes. I guess there's the boredom thing. Oh, I should also say that I don't put stock in astrology. I don't believe that a person's moment of birth will dictate what kind of person they are. Just my thing. But it is kind of like fun and interesting to look into it. The sun is in the 4th house. You invest much of your pride and energy into your personal and private life, your home, and your family. Privacy is important to you. You are naturally protective of your family, including your heritage, and of your personal life. Avoid being defensive as you work to build a secure foundation for yourself and the people you love. Yeah, I am very defensive of, or I'm very protective of the people in my life. I do respect my heritage. All sides of it. We have like Native American, Belgian, various other Western European input, like around England, Ireland, things like that. Alright, first things first, I am going to prime. And for that, I am using the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. So next is the moon, and they say the moon represents the emotional responses, unconscious predestination, and the self-image. The moon represents the emotions, and the moon sign shows how a person expresses themselves when at home, at ease, and comfortable. And it says for me, moon is in Capricorn. So it says, being useful and productive are basic needs for lunar Capricorns. Because they generally keep their emotions under check, Moon and Capricorn people come across as competent people. However turbulent their emotions may be under the surface, lunar Capricorns keep cool-headed, and they come across as steady and reliable people. This position of the moon suggests a desire for clear boundaries and realistic goals. Very true. Not much for taking risks in life. Lunar Capricorns look for safety and security in most everything they do. Most of them respect authority and tradition, which I think earlier it said that I broke out of traditions. So there's a little bit of a contradiction. But many are planning well ahead of the rest of us. You likely won't have to remind them to protect their interests, plan for old age, or keep fallback money in their bank accounts. Well, I don't. I don't have the money to have fallback money in my bank account. And I'm like horrible with finances. For reals. I think I am primed. For foundation, I'm going to be using Maybelline's Dream Urban Cover Full Coverage Protective Makeup. And this is in the shade Fair Porcelain. This was one of the newer ones that I am trying. Smear a bunch on my face. It's a thinner formula, kind of more liquidy. But I've worn this a couple of times since getting it, and I actually like it a lot. It doesn't feel heavy. The coverage is really nice on it. Get down my neck. Try not to get it on the headphone cords. Next, concealer. And we have back to the moon sign being in Capricorn. So, calm, cool, and collected. These words sum up moon and Capricorn natives well. Messy emotions and leaky souls, I don't know what those are a bit frightening for most with this position of the moon. I have issues with, I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape as usual. I'm very emotional actually. I mean, like, as far as like calm, cool, and collected in emergencies situation, yeah. When I used to work in the vet field, you kind of had to be that way. But, like, there are times where I have so many mood swings, and things will like just hit me hard. And I think that's the part of the depression, that it kind of overwhelms the senses. But I mean, I guess most of the time I have my emotions in check. And then it says, truth is, they can have plenty of mood swings and some dark emotions now and again. Lunar Capricorns are quite often hard on themselves. I'm the worst at me. I mean, being hard on myself. Lunar Capricorns are quite often hard on themselves and would benefit from letting their guard down once in a while. They quickly garner reputations of being mountains of strength, and they easily hide their sensitivity behind a sarcastic manner. Yeah, I can do that. I'm known to do that. And next, eye priming. As in priming of the eye, not like eye priming. This is the e.l.f. Putty Eye Primer in the color Rose. I really like this primer. It makes my shadows last so long. It is pretty tacky when you lay it down, and of course this color is actually a little bit dark for me, but I'm planning on having darker colors around there anyway, so, or at least a transition shade covering that, so it shouldn't matter too much. And bring some of that primer down underneath on the lower lash line. I'm planning on having color there, and sometimes it fades really easily. Oh, just poked myself in the eye. That'll really help with the watering eye problem. You may have read, probably not, that Moon and Capricorn natives are a bit cold and calculating. The fact is, they are unlikely to be any less emotional than the other 11 sign positions of the Moon. They simply aren't comfortable with letting go when it comes to emotions. They keep their emotions under control. Wherever Capricorn is found in the chart, there's a desire for structure and control. Capricorn is the sign of organization and efficient management. So, when the Moon is found in that sign, the world of emotions are well managed and handled in an efficient and practical manner. At the heart of lunar Capricorns is a powerful need to feel worthwhile in the real world. Yes, I definitely have problems kind of evaluating my worth and want to be worth a lot, or at least a little bit. But there's a basic need for respectability and big attachment to the world of the senses. Lunar Capricorns put a lot of value in all things tangible and real, and perhaps more than anything, they need to be respected by others in order to feel secure. Which I think is a pretty broad thing, you know? Everyone really wants respect in their own way. Powder. I'm going to set my under eyes with the Maybelline Fit Me powder in 05 or Fair. With a little, this is from Eco Tools. It's a large shadow brush, but I'm using it for this. I'm just going over the nose too while I'm at it. And I will lightly powder the rest of the face. Try not to get powder. Never mind. Powder is all over everything. It's so messy. I'll just sweep that off the desk and off my pants and off my shirt and everything else. So we are set. This one says the Moon is in the 3rd house. Highly imaginative, but may have difficulty concentrating. She fantasizes frequently. Important studies. May move around a lot and travel frequently. I would love to travel frequently, but I don't have the finances for that. You are very responsive, communicative, and curious. You can have a talent for imitating others and or for picking up languages. I did okay in Spanish. You might either intellectualize with your emotions rather than truly feel them and deal with them, or you communicate with excessive emotion. Some of you may do both at different times, and as you mature and develop, you learn to find a balance. Your opinions and ideas change often, and you might find that sometimes you adopt others' points of view and express their ideas as if they were your own. This is not necessarily because you are a copycat, but because you sometimes fail to own your own thoughts, and you are so very sensitive to others' opinions. You might be quite nervous and restless, requiring frequent changes of scenery, even if the movement or travel takes place locally. And then it goes through a whole bunch of in-depth weird shit. Then we move on to the other planetary signs. It's like Mercury sign, Venus sign, things like that. I'm using the NYX Highlight and Contour Pro palette. It's literally the only contour I have, so that's all you're gonna see. And I'm using an Ego Tools, I think this is Skin Perfecting brush. And of course this doesn't look like it's blended. It's so much more blended in person than on the computer screen. It's crazy. Baby hair, get it out of my face. So we are on to Mercury. Mercury represents communication, Cartesian and logical spirit. Oh, I'm not done. I always forget about my double chin. Looks okay to me. Next we have blush, the trusty Our Noble blush palette. It just says blush palette. Surprisingly, I did find this on Amazon. Again, link in the description. Let's see, I'm going to be doing a goldish greenish look. We're gonna go with just a more peachy type blush. This side is higher, I think. Blend, blend, blend. I don't know, they're singing about Emily. Okie dokie. So, my Mercury is in Aquarius. Good to know. At least it's not in retrograde. There's a website. Is mercuryinretrograde.com, I believe. And it just tells you if Mercury's in retrograde, and it will tell you the next time it'll be in retrograde. So, it's great. If it's not, it says Mercury's not in retrograde, so something else is causing your issues. It's funny. I don't know. They say, not necessarily loud or flamboyant, but she often has a quiet way of stirring others up, may delight in exposing what she deems biases in others' way of thinking. Very quick to contradict others and to offer a different perspective. She enjoys intellectual debates, amazing powers of observation, and a quirky way of looking at the world. Humorous and interesting, likes practical jokes and raising eyebrows. Very fair and objective. And Mercury is in the 5th house. There's a taste for intellectual games, sports that require skill and finesse. She is very curious about everything, even in love. She likes children. Kids are okay. You tend to use your voice, whether written or spoken, as a means of creative self-expression. You can be witty and humorous, an engaging communicator, and a fun friend. You love playing games, especially ones that employ your intellect. You love tricks, jokes, plays on words, and mimicry. You might be skilled at impersonations. I am not. I cannot impersonate anyone. Some of you could be clever at lying. I'm really bad at lying. You might have a tendency to promise more than you can deliver or overstate your case. In some way, you are very entertaining with the spoken and or written word. Communication and intellectual rapport is most attractive to you when it comes to romance. Very true. In some cases, this can indicate more than one lover at once. No, never. Curiosity can be a strong motivator for making social and romantic contact. You might also take much pride in your children's intellectual abilities and talents. You would make a good teacher, as you are very curious about how people learn and can come up with many ideas that allow you to teach others creatively. My Laneige sleep mask has worn off. My lips are back to super dry, because they are all the time, especially in winter. So I just put on some Burt's Bees Mango for now. In college, I actually tutored someone in calculus. And we had a teacher from Western Europe somewhere with a very, very thick accent. And my friend just had a hard time understanding calculus the way he was explaining it, and also couldn't understand what he was saying because of his accent. So I taught her and discovered that I could find like different ways to teach things in order to help people. Now we are on to eyes, because I'm going to do highlighter last. So. On a big floofy brush, I'm going to take the matte shade that is under Aquarius, kind of like just a neutral transition color. And just put that all over the crease. We're on to the Venus sign. Venus represents an interest in emotions and values, exchange and sharing with others. I am going to go into the matte under Sagittarius here. And I'm going to take that on a smaller brush to kind of darken the outer part. I'm going to pull that kind of through the crease a little bit. I have such like crinkly eyes, which you can really tell on the close-ups I take of the look after I'm done. And I'm going to bring that shade down the lower lash line. How are we looking? We looking okay, I think. So, Venus is in Sagittarius. When Venus and Sagittarius people are in love, they need to feel they can grow and expand their horizons through their relationship. They want to learn new things and experience everything together. I do like the togetherness in relationships. Sharing experiences and stuff. My hand just, for some reason, doesn't want to bend and do the same motions on this side as it does on the other side. It's really weird. This is the eye that's harder for me to do though, because of me being a left-handed person. My opposite eye. Which they actually advise that you do your bad eye first, because then you can more easily match it with when you turn and do the better eye. It's easier for you to match it, make it kind of symmetrical. Might have to fix that with concealer. Weird, the eye I have more trouble with looks better than the other one. Is there a green? There is. Alright, so since the Aquarius here kind of has green reflect in it, I'm going to go into the matte under Capricorn, which is a nice like olive khaki green, and I'm wiping my brush off on a color switch thing. This is by Dream Beauty Box, quick color change. It just is a little thing, has a little sponge in it. Ooh, there's a lot of powder there. But you basically just run your brush over it and it removes the powder that's on it. So you can use it on different colors, stuff like that. These are idealistic lovers who want you to appreciate their beliefs, visions, and ideals. They can be a confusing mix of the lighthearted and serious. They are roamers and seekers and don't commit in their relationships as easily as others. No, I'm not a commitment phobe. Venus and Sagittarius people turn others on with their big smiles and laughs, their jokes, their grand schemes, their dreams, and their friendly, flirtatious behavior. They pride themselves on their open minds, but you may notice they can be judgmental too. They are threatened by inhibitions on the part of their lover, dullness, and emotional overkill. They are restless and won't put up with lovers who dwell on any one thing. When the going gets tough in their relationship, they have an overwhelming need to run away. Usually, this only means getting out and experiencing something new before they come back, but sometimes it can be for good. They are attracted to people in love with life. You don't need to be refined, polished, or graceful to win their favor. Pleasing Venus in Sagittarius involves allowing them lots of room in the relationship to grow. Avoid getting stuck in a rut and understand their need to move on. Learn to laugh, but take their rants and raves seriously. Avoid criticizing their beliefs, join them in debates, and philosophize along with them. When they feel the need for more experience, join them. Learn to look past their clumsiness with you and your feelings and avoid cornering them or forcing them to commit. I do not have a problem with commitment. I'm a very committed person. I'm just adding this kind of green color to the outside third of the eyelid. I need a thinner brush to take it underneath though. Looks darker than I want it to, but hopefully the green shows through. I need a flatter brush. I'm gonna take a pencil brush and get this on the lower lash line. Yeah, that is pulling off darker than expected. It almost looks like a black. It is not, it is green. Then I'm just gonna take the smaller blending brush and blend. Keep Joe. It says, Venus is in the third house. May like everything that is beautiful as well as decorum. Outstanding intelligence. She may work in a trade linked to beauty or fashion. I'm doing beauty videos. Does that count? Numerous but select friends. You are verbally expressive, diplomatic, and aim to be tactful. You easily win others over with your words, whether it's because of a likable facility with language, a beautiful voice, or a diplomatic use of words. You readily give out compliments. Some of you might use flattery to your own benefit at the risk of being ingenuine. You are generally a very good mediator, aiming to settle arguments quickly and restoring at least temporary peace. You have a mischievous side, however, and your desire to be tactful and polite with others doesn't always succeed. Some of you might engage in a lot of mind games, and others might eventually find out that you don't always mean what you say or say what you mean. You value mental stimulation and frequent changes of scenery in your love relationships. I like variety, but I don't like crave things being different all the time. I'm going to use the NYX glitter primer to make the shimmers pop a bit. I'm going to take a flat kind of shader brush and go into Aquarius. It's shiny. And I'm just putting it where we put the glitter primer? Me and the mouse in my pocket? What? On the other side of that same shader brush, I'm going to dip into a little bit of Sagittarius to add a little bit more green. Just where these two meet here. Should I take that further? I don't know. I'm going to try to add a little bit to the lower lash line here too. And put glitter glue over here. So I don't know how well it's gonna go, but I'm gonna try it because I like that it looks more green than the matte does underneath. And then I'm going to do the color switch thing and go into Aquarius on the tip of that brush and put that in the front of the lower lash line. If it'll show up. Here we go. Again, it's much easier if you lay down the glitter primer, but I did not down here because I wasn't thinking. Now, for an inner corner highlight, I think I'll actually use the center highlighter in here. See how bright that is. Ugh, I'm not as happy with this look as I was with the other one. The other one turned out really, really nice. Lost footage. Well, I mean, it's not lost. I know exactly where it is. It just doesn't have audio. And that's not good. I'm going to kind of go over the edge of these shimmers. So it's not quite the harsh line. Yeah, I'm not as happy with this. It mostly matches. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not as happy with this one. Onward though, we have Mars. the Mars sign. So it says Mars represents the desire for action and physical energy. And for me, Mars is in Aries. This is a very impulsive position of Mars. The first instinct for Mars and Aries people is to take action. Quick flare-ups characterize the Mars and Aries character, but their anger usually doesn't last for too long. In fact, these people generally don't live in the past and are not given to holding grudges or feeling resentful. Generally, their temper comes quickly and they deal with anger on issues right away. With this kind of character, there's little room for festering. When Mars and Aries people listen to their instincts, they generally get things done, and they make fast and usually decent decisions. They don't naturally stop to smell the roses or consider others' point of view when they are deliberating over what to do next. In fact, deliberation works at lightning speed for these natives, so they could hardly be called deliberate. Spontaneity is one of their assets, as are simplicity, purity of action, and innovation. Mars and Aries natives are often a step ahead of the rest of us. A life that is too predictable makes them antsy. Mars and Aries people enjoy starting fresh. New ideas, pioneering action, and fresh projects make them happiest. They generally enjoy challenges. Relationships with these natives can be exciting, but keeping up with them can be difficult. They are given to impulsive action, and they are not known for sticking things through. Although their physical energy is great, they can lose their initial enthusiasm quickly. Mars and Aries natives are easily irritated by indirectness from others. They expect others to say things straight, no beating around the bush. They easily become impatient with convoluted plans or with people they consider to be slow to action. Most people with this position of Mars have a childlike quality to them. Sometimes they're downright rude and impatient, but with Mars and Aries natives, you generally know what they're after. Unless Mars is afflicted in the chart, I don't know what that means, you can also pretty much trust that they don't have hidden agendas. Yeah, I really don't. I don't know what to do about this eye. This look in general. Like I said, the other one was really, really nice. I absolutely loved it, and I posted it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other people loved it too. So I was really happy with it. But what now? Setting spray and then lips. So for setting spray, I'm trying a new thing that I got from Ulta. It's Milani Fruit Fetish Make It Last, and it's dragon fruit peach scented setting spray. Highlight. Yes. Forgot about highlight. Highlight brush. Oh, I'm going into the Kaleidoscope palette from You Can Be, and this center kind of yellowy shade. I love doing the little tip of the nose thing. I know it's like excessive on me, but I think it's super cute. Isn't that cute? Good. First I'm going to go with Beauty Glazed. It's matte liquid lipstick, Kissing, in the shade Candy K. They smell like cake. Or like frosting, maybe? I don't know. They smell really good. Next, I'm going to go in with NYX Butter Gloss in Madeline. There is lips. So it says, for me, Mars is in the 7th house. She may dominate her associates or colleagues. She is the same in her love life. perhaps dominating the partner, and this makes for a stormy relationship. Or the energy of Mars is met through a partner, and the partner is especially active, assertive, and energetic. There can be a marked impulsive tendency in your one-to-one relationships. Certainly, you need your connections to maintain a high level of passion and energy. You can be particularly good at mediating, counseling, troubleshooting, debate, politics, or working with the law. I do none of those things. The next sign, of course, is Jupiter. And it says, Jupiter represents expansion and grace. Jupiter is in Pisces. She attracts the most good fortune when she is charitable, tender, devoted, compassionate, giving, and looking out for the underdog. Values compassion and charity and is motivated by a universal vision. Peaceful personal philosophy. Faith in the goodness of life brings rewards. And Jupiter is in the 6th house. She can be quite lucky in the working world. She may sometimes lose a little in the world of business in the short term because of high principles and standards for dealing with others, but is likely to win in the long term due to these very same moral standards. She helps the sick and underprivileged with kindness, charitable and kind, may overdo the good life, enjoy rich foods, and appreciate animals in the country. I do love animals and I love food, if you couldn't tell. I'm going to go in with mascara. I have the Lash Mixologist mascara from Physicians Formula. I go in with the length side first and then the volume side. I like this because it's not super clumpy, and like days like these where I don't want to do like the fake lashes, it really helps to lift my lashes and separate them and make them look pretty. It's a good mascara. So now we're on to Saturn. Saturn represents contraction and effort. Saturn is in Sagittarius. She has her own way of thinking about a subject and her own ideas about things. She respects society and its rules guide her conduct. Possible issues: hard, unforgiving, rigorous, and insensitive at times. A limited and narrow mind in rare cases. Saturn is in the 3rd house. Her studies may be restricted. She is serious, discreet. She takes on mental tasks that require time and concentration. She may travel little, even though she likes it. She may have few friends who are, however, very close. That's true. Uranus. Uranus represents individual liberty, egoistic liberty. Uranus is in Sagittarius. She is shy, delicate, but proud, bold, and lively. Uranus is in the 3rd house. She is curious and inventive. If she does not study for a long time, she will be self-taught. She is intelligent with a strong personality. She does not like routine and might regularly go on missions for work purposes or on learning tangents. The rabbit holes that I go into. Then we have Neptune. Neptune represents transcendental liberty, non-egoistic liberty. Neptune is in Capricorn. She is discerning, wise, and sensible. Neptune is in the 3rd house. She has a lot of imagination and high ideals. She is nostalgic. Dry, cold facts are hard for her to absorb, so traditional academics might not appeal. No, I do pretty well with just cold, hard facts. And we have Pluto. Pluto represents transformations, mutations, and elimination. Pluto is in Scorpio. Fear of betrayal, sensual and passionate. And they don't have the house for that one. Then we have the Lilith sign, and it says, Black Moon Lilith represents our darker, deeper natures that may be repressed or buried. Lilith is in Cancer. She may have felt ashamed for being needy or dependent. and now feels awkward or even angry with people who display these traits without apology. She can feel very uncomfortable asking for help and or expressing her own nurturing nature as a result. Accepting the very human need for care and concern in herself can be empowering. It can also help eliminate extremes of behavior in these areas where she expresses neediness to an extreme, after which feeling remorse and then repeating the cycle. Yep. Then they have a section on North Node and South Node. The South Node represents our overdeveloped character traits. We are talented here, but if we overdo this area of life or hold on to these traits to feel secure, we may stagnate. The North Node points to the qualities we need to work on and develop to achieve inner balance and fulfillment. And it says North Node in Aries. She is brilliant at mediating and cooperating, but in the first half of life, she learns many lessons regarding codependency, indecision, and fear of making errors or striking out independently, perhaps the hard way. I did have a rough childhood. If you haven't caught the series that I did with Mrs. Snarky, it is on a book written for healing the daughters of narcissistic mothers. So, kind of a peek into both of our upbringings and what we kind of had to deal with. Check it out. It's really worthwhile if you want to know more about either that situation or you think that you yourself was raised by a narcissist. It provides a lot of healing and advice. For happiness and success, she must discover and embrace her independence and build confidence in her decisions. Qualities to develop: self-confidence, assertiveness, and decisiveness. And it says North Node in the 7th house. She tends to fall back on depending on herself when cooperating with someone special can help her succeed and bring her better luck. The goal should be to involve others more and build diplomacy and cooperation so as to gain perspective and share the load. Her path is to listen to others instead of falling back on her automatic response to do everything on her own and call the shots. Qualities to develop: finding a middle ground, cooperation, and harmony. Then they have the 12 houses. House 1 is the area of self-identity. The ascendant is a symbol of how one acts in life. It is the image of the personality as seen by others and the attitude that one has towards life. And this says ascendant is Libra. Everybody seems to like Libra ascendant natives. They just come across as nice, pleasant, and fair. Look a little closer at their lives, and these people may have had quite a few problems in their relationships. Some of them have had a string of relationships, and it can be hard to imagine why. These natives attract others to them effortlessly. Besides, they simply don't know what to do with themselves without a significant other. Libra rising generally appear to be smoothing everything over. They have charming smiles, a gentle approach with others, and an easygoing image. Even if they were not endowed with good looks, they are attractive. Aww, I'm attractive. Most pay a lot of attention to their personal appearance. The colors they wear, the hair, the way they walk. Yeah. Libra rising people can be enormously persuasive, although they will almost always use the soft sell approach when they want to win others over, which is all of the time. A tendency to pass the buck and keep up that nice guy or gal image are their worst qualities. However, they can make excellent mediators and will generally be the first to accommodate you. Libra rising natives are usually attracted to competent, active partners. Their relationships are often characterized by bickering or competitiveness until they learn to drop their sweet image once in a while and to stop blaming their partners for everything that goes wrong. House number 2, the 2nd house, is the area of material security and values. It rules money and personal finances, sense of self-worth, and basic values and personal possessions. And it says Scorpio on the 2nd house. Financial success may come through handling other people's money and resources, or thanks to an inheritance. Financial ups and downs are very possible, but later in life, finances can be substantial. Private about revealing her worth. Yeah. I'm broke, though. For reals. The 3rd house is the area of social and intellectual learning. And for me, it says Sagittarius is on the 3rd house. She may study for a long time and can be erudite. Very intelligent, an open and independent spirit, will have a connection with foreign countries. Fertile intelligence. Cool, my intelligence is fertile. The 4th house is the area of home, family roots, and deep emotions or sense of self-worth. Capricorn on the 4th house. After working all her life to obtain her objectives and finally having reached that goal, she wants to retire in peace and quiet and enjoy a retirement full of contemplation, with few tasks, close to nature. As she was very careful with money all her life, she is happy to administer the properties she has acquired. The 5th house is the area of creative self-expression, romance, entertainment, children, and gambling. I have Aquarius in the 5th house. She doesn't like routine and the banal. She is romantic, full of fantasy and imagination. She is also a friend one can count on. The 6th house is the area of learning by material transaction. And I have Pisces on the 6th house. Job in commerce. Weak point, the kidneys and feet. Surprisingly, the kidney is like they're referred to as one organ, but both kidneys are A-okay. I've never had problems with them. Everything else in my system, though, is a little bit fucked. And my feet are fine. The 7th house is the area of one-to-one relationships, such as marriage and partnership, and of social and intellectual action. And for me, Aries is on the 7th house. Love at first sight, may partner without thinking. She doesn't want to change her habits, perhaps leading to many arguments that are quick to start but also quick to resolve. She may not have much patience for the clinging vine type of partner, preferring much activity and someone who can take charge, an active partnership. I did date someone who was clingy once, and yeah, I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Even though I'm kind of clinging. It's weird. But the 8th house is the area of emotional security and of security of the soul. I have Taurus on the 8th house. Happy old age, natural death likely, inheritance. Okay. The 9th house is the area of learning that shapes the identity. And I have Gemini. She enjoys studying, is open to anything new, accepting and recognizing her errors, always developing in a positive sense. She usually likes travel, discovery, and meeting new people and knows how to appreciate them. The 10th house is the area of material action. The midheaven represents the work one will do in one's life, the place one will take in the world of society. It becomes more important as one grows older. And I have Cancer on the 10th house. She likes contact with the public, the crowd, profession that involves meeting a lot of people. Professional success thanks to a sense of duty and application to her work. The 11th house is the area of search for social and intellectual security, and I have Leo on the 11th house. Friends are not always chosen by chance. Even if the feelings of friendship are sincere, friends often bring something, professional help, for example. The 12th house, that's the final house, is the area of education and of emotion. This is where we meet our karma, deal with endings, and sometimes where we bury things. And I have Virgo, and it just says, work in a research lab. Which I didn't, but I guess veterinary medicine may be close enough. Not really research labs, though. But yeah, that is it. I will leave a link to this website if you want to get your own star chart and get a very in-depth reading of yourself. Get to know yourself a little bit. Or maybe, contradict what's there. Who knows? But if you want some fun with that, again, link in the description. And remember, life can be shit, so let's get through it together. Keep hanging in there with hashtag. Bye! Mwah. Are we still recording? And we still have sound? Okay, cool. Just checking. Making sure. Okay, checking sound. I believe recording. I'm blurry. Fix that. Oops. Not what I wanted. There. That's better. Fuck you. Do it anyway. Okay. So here's the Earth, chilling. Oh, it's a pretty sweet Earth, you might say. Hold on. Am I blurry? No. We're good. There's a hair stuck in my brush. Like one of my hairs. Weird. I just had like a thing in the pit of my stomach that I'm like, did I hit record? I did. We're okay. My lights are kind of weirdly positioned, so this side looks darker. If I can fix that. How is that? This is still a little dark. This side's well lit. Why not that side? I don't know. I'm not gonna worry about it right now. We're gonna let it go. Just chillax. So, the 7th house is the area of one-to-one relationships, such as marriage and partnership, and of oh my god, words is hard. Okay, did I actually record that? Is it recording? Okay, yeah. Wow, I got a half an hour off. Oh, yes. I love you, bye!